A lot of problems. This is a MAFEX Rogue action figure review like no other. Since the 2024 reveal, I was looking forward to finally reviewing a Rogue with a proper soft goods jacket. But in the end, this is one review I wish I never had to make. Let's find out. In this video, I'll compare what many are calling the definitive Rogue to see if she truly replaces the Marvel Legends version in your 6-inch scale display, or I can convince you to downsize from that 7-inch scale Marvel Select. The main reason I've been looking forward for this figure is the soft goods jacket. If you've ever tried to pose the Marvel Legends Rogue, you know the struggle. You're constantly trying to hide that ugly yellow gap between the shoulder and the bicep where the plastic vest just fails to scale. It breaks the look. Photoshop needed. With this MAFEX number 242 Rogue, we can finally recreate moments that are basically core memories for every 90s kid. I'm talking about the legendary clash with Apocalypse from X-Men the Animated Series. We can finally recreate that cinematic, climatic shot. Don't pretend that you don't know what I'm talking about. That is the one where Rogue is down, facing off against the big guy in a pose forever carved into the minds of anyone who grew up with Saturday morning cartoons. Shout out to Retro Gimmick for immortalizing that moment. There are over 25,000 people who like that moment and another 17.5k, so remember this when you're about to leave a comment down below. But here's the question: does this new MAFEX Rogue action figure actually deliver the essence? Because Rogue isn't just defined by the green and yellow suit. First, let's talk about the overall silhouette. It's about the essence of her womanhood and whether Medicom Toy actually captured the right shape and curves for the Southern Belle. Without the jacket, the Rogue action figure is exposed. Casual collectors might not care about the curve of the sculpt, but if you're a 90s purist looking for that definitive Anna Marie look, this is where the figure either wins or dies. Despite being a 90s inspired figure, the sculpt feels modern. From behind, it's a massive improvement over the diaper look we got from the 7-inch scale Marvel Select Rogue action figure. However, the Marvel Legends Rogue still wins in the silhouette department because those curves from Moonstone truly captures the 90s Rogue we saw in the animated series and the Jim Lee era. From the front, the MAFEX Rogue sculpt is subtle. For a lack of a better description, it's almost too realistic. It looks like how a spandex would actually be worn by a woman. It's definitely not pure Jim Lee comic book art. It's closer to the aesthetic seen in X-Men 97. The Marvel Legends Rogue is actually more accurate to the Jim Lee aesthetics, with a costume so tight it looks like Anna Marie is just wearing a body paint. Since the curves are not what me and over 25k people hope for, can the MAFEX jacket fit in a Marvel Legends Rogue body? This is the root cause, the reason why we have the jacket problem. My curiosity to answer that question. Let's start with a Rogue that was once considered the definitive version, already 9 years old, the 2017 Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Rogue. The Marvel Legends Rogue jacket was a bit hard to remove. I used hair dryer in order to soften the hard plastic. Another challenge I have to face is to stick jacket sculpted parts on her bicep. So you can see right now I'm slowly trying to slide this brand new MAFEX Rogue jacket. I really don't want to damage it. That's why I'm so careful. I'm even cautious about trying to roll up the sleeves. At this point, no flaking jacket. I've successfully transferred the MAFEX Rogue jacket to the Marvel Legends Rogue, and it's not a perfect fit. The jacket is tailor-fit for the body of the MAFEX Rogue, which is slightly smaller compared to the Marvel Legends Rogue. So the shoulder piece does not align to the Marvel Legends Rogue shoulder. It slides down. Most collectors are concerned about the shelf life of this material. Is it going to flake off in 2 years? Maybe in 1 year? No, mine flaked off in less than 12 hours. Going back to the details of the jacket, it's a really nice jacket. It's similar to the Mezco one. That is the back of the fabric. The front would have this pleather type of material. This is the Mezco 112 Collective Logan, which I purchased over 6 years ago. Side by side, you can see the leather material or pleather material. It's still alright. It's not flaking off. Well, one reason is I took good care of it. I kept it away from the sun or heat. It's always inside its packaging. I rarely bring it out. In short, it's far away from my hands. I think the less time that the figure spends with me playing around or posing it, it survives longer. Unfortunately for Rogue, she did not last that long. I'm trying to test whether she has bendy wired material. She does not, unlike the Mezco 112 Collective Logan, which has bendy wired material. The interior part or the main fabric looks similar. That's not the smooth leather-like type. It's the same here. I'm not sure how thick the leather or the leather is behind that fabric, but it's quite light, so I assume it's a very thin type of plastic leather. Next to use the jacket is the Savage Land Rogue from the SDCC exclusive 3-pack. Notice again, the shoulders don't line up, but this is quite better compared to the other Marvel Legends Rogue. In case you are new to this channel, I did break the Marvel Legends Savage Land Rogue. Snapped. Well, I managed to fix it. The question is, did I manage to fix this new MAFEX Rogue? Later we'll see. Since it's a new jacket, I had to find out whether it can fit one of my favorite ex-ladies, Psylocke. It's the same problem. The shoulder does not line up, so it's still big. Before I notice something missing, the final person to use this is the Marvel Legends Outback Rogue, J. Scott Campbell. It's already missing on screen if you've noticed. So it still doesn't want to go up to the shoulder. But it's quite close, but not really. This is the part where I noticed something was really missing. In terms of costume accuracy, Medicom really does it well, and they have this button on top of this piece. Now it's missing for the right shoulder. It's probably because when I kept on trying on the jacket to tighter Marvel Legends Rogue, my hand might have swiped it away, or the hair of the Marvel Legends Rogue swiped it away. I found it, but it took me some time, like a lot of sweeping and searching. For me, this is not the first time that a button on a jacket fell off. MAFEX Gambit had the same problem. I was just surprised that it just fell off, then I had to super glue it. Compared to the button of Gambit, Rogue's is really small. So it's quite hard to accurately put it on top of the jacket again. I missed the mark and I panicked. I tried to pull out the button and I didn't notice that some glue actually spilled on my thumb. And now the thumb took a part of the plastic leather jacket. If you're wondering how thin the plastic leather is, here it is. The exposed surface is the same as the one inside the jacket. It could potentially be a good content, something you've never seen elsewhere, which is my tagline. But believe me when I say that, like you, I want my figures in the best possible condition. that small microscopic bronze button is hardly noticeable, especially in toy photography. But I checked the cover of Jim Lee's X-Men #1 and the button is right there. Bravo to MAFEX for always staying accurate to the source material. I could have ignored the missing button and moved on, but my OC brain wouldn't rest until I fixed the problem. So here we are, a battle-damaged MAFEX Rogue. One thing though I'm thankful of is the glue did not spill on the figure. She has 3 gorgeous head sculpts. I'm glad Medicom Toy gave us 3 Rogue head sculpts. They could have easily stuck with 2 since Rogue doesn't have a masked version. But we get a stoic Rogue plus 2 expressions missing from the 90s Marvel Legends Rogue. A smiling expression and a teeth-clenching expression that are perfect for when she's fighting a Sentinel or clashing head-on with Juggernaut. All 3 head sculpts are gorgeous and capture that sweet Southern Belle charm. But does she actually look like 90s Rogue? Since this is Medicom, expect a slightly anime-inspired look. It's similar to the MAFEX Jean Grey. She's pretty, but it doesn't quite scream 90s. Side by side with the Jim Lee art, you can see the difference. She doesn't perfectly match the animated series either. Honestly, the figure that captures that 90s energy Rogue isn't even a 1/12 scale figure. It's Mondo's 1/6 scale Rogue. Even Hasbro Marvel Legends Rogue's head sculpts don't fully capture that comic book feel. One thing that caught my eye is the hair. Is that white streak supposed to be that long? The thing that was stuck in my memory is her hair from that iconic Apocalypse scene from the X-Men animated series. Looking from behind, the length of the white streak is one of the first things you would notice. Is it comic book accurate? Yes and no. I mean, artist changes the way how a character looks over time. But thanks to the X-Men animated series and X-Men 97, we got used to seeing Rogue with the white streak concentrated near the top of her hair. But if you look at early 80s Rogue artwork, it actually extends much farther. Surprisingly, even some of Jim Lee's art features the longer white streak. So, Medicom Toy definitely did their homework here. I heard the belt of MAFEX Rogue is fixed, it's glued on, so I had to try it out because it might limit articulation. For some reason, it is loose on one side, and that scared me. I thought I broke it. But apparently, there is a peg hole and you can peg the right side. For the left side, it seems to be glued on tightly, so I won't try to add more damage to this figure. The advantage of removing the jacket is you get to use the butterfly joints completely because there is no cloth hindering it. Because of the cloth's good jacket, you cannot maximize her butterfly joint and do a full 360 right here, and it would also hinder her bicep swivel. Since all 3 heads has the hair swept to only one side, you can swivel her head. She cannot look up that much though. She has an upper torso swivel, but I won't push it because it might dent the sides. Hard to do a full 360 when the jacket is on. Double jointed pinless elbows are also affected by it. Wrist can swivel and hinge in different directions. She has a waist swivel, hindered by the belt. A lot of things are getting hindered. She can do a split. As usual, no upper thigh swivel because it breaks the look. The swivel is inside her thigh. Double jointed pinless knees. Just comparing side by side with Marvel Legends Rogue, which has an upper thigh swivel right here. Ball peg with a hinge on the ankle. Toe articulation. The Medicom Toy MAFEX number 242 Rogue has the most hands versus Marvel Legends and versus the Diamond Select Toys Marvel Select Rogue. The manner of how she pulls out her gloves is the same way as Marvel Select. It's a bit different on how Marvel Legends holds her gloves. The MAFEX Rogue has a total of 18 hands. Here is the first pair, both hands pulling out the gloves. Marvel Legends and Marvel Select has only one hand of these. To be exact, the right hand is the ungloved one and the left hand holds the gloves for Marvel Legends and Marvel Select. MAFEX Rogue, she has a pair of the ungloved relaxed hands and a pair with the gloves on. I do wonder, is it really ungloved hands or are they gloves in flesh color? If they were bare hands, I would expect fingernails. MAFEX Rogue does not have sculpted on fingernails. I know the tips are a bit sharp, suggesting she has fingernails, but is it fingernails in a flesh glove? Let me know in the comments below because it looks like a flesh glove. Another set of expressive hands, both pairs of gloved and ungloved hands with the fingers spread out wide. For the next set of hands, it's less spread out in terms of fingers, but it's still open palm. Well, Rogue's mutant power involves touching, so that's the reason why there are different types of expressive hands. The final set is closed fist hands. Aside from the power of touch, Rogue has the power of super strength, so punching hands are essential. Most Marvel Legends Rogue has a pair of these closed fist hands too. Before MAFEX Rogue, Diamond Select Toys Marvel Select Rogue had the most number of hands, all in glove color of yellow, a pair of closed fist hands, and a pair of open palm expressive hands. Marvel Legends remains to be the most stingiest in terms of the number of hands. Usually it's a lucky day if we get 4 hands, and if we get the right size of hands too, because this open palm hand, it's huge. I don't think this is the right hand for Rogue. Let me know in the comment below, am I the only one who sees this hand as abnormally large? As for MAFEX, the one thing that collectors would notice is she is the smallest among all Rogue action figures here. Unfortunately, I don't have all the Rogue action figures ever made. I did miss out on the new X-Men 97 Rogue basketball team with Gambit. The new MAFEX number 242 Rogue stands 15.2 centimeters or 6 inches tall to the top of her hair, but it seems that her actual height without the hair would be 15 centimeters or 5.9 inches tall. According to the info trading card and Marvel.com, Rogue remains to be 5 feet 8 inches tall. I know Marvel Legends collectors would be upset hearing this, but MAFEX is the true 1/12 scale in terms of height. Again, apologies to Marvel Legends collectors, that includes me actually, but only MAFEX Rogue has the butterfly joints in my collection because I don't have the basketball Rogue. And here is MAFEX Rogue besides 6-inch scale Marvel Legends in order of comic book appearance. Here she is besides other MAFEX ladies, Phoenix, Psylocke, Jean Grey, Storm. Here is MAFEX Rogue among the MAFEX boys, Cyclops, Wolverine, Gambit, and Magneto. MAFEX Rogue besides Executive Replicas and Loose Collector, She, Loose Collector and Halimaw Sculptures, Darna, SH Figuarts, Gamerverse, Cyclops, Boss Fight Studio, Epic Hacks, Red Sonja. A family picture is a must, so we'll just include Uncle Wolverine along, her brother Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler, everyone's favorite murder mummies, Mystique, and Destiny. For a 6-inch scale Marvel Legends male size comparison, the shortest is Miles Morales, a teenage body mold, regular size Cyclops, Maximum Series Spider-Man, Maximum Series Deadpool. Here is MAFEX Rogue besides other Marvel Legends ladies. Let's see whether she remains the shortest. Teenager Magic, X-Men 97, Jean Grey. I am surprised X-Men 97 Jean Grey is actually taller than her. Then we have normal size female Phoenix and almost the same height with Warbird. I am looking forward to the SH Figuarts Gamerverse Psylocke, but in the meantime, here we have the king of Gamerverse Marvel Legends, Captain America, Wolverine, Psylocke, and Venom. The shortest female figures in my collections are in the Jada Toys line, which is Chun-Li and Cammy. As expected, Rogue being 5 feet 8 inches tall, she should be taller than Chun-Li and Cammy, and it is like that here. And as usual, the giant green monster size comparison, 6-inch scale Marvel Legends versus 7-inch scale Marvel Select Hulk. She comes in the standard MAFEX X-Men box. You can see the figure and all of the accessories from the window. The corner box art is taken from X-Men number 1. It's art by who else? The GOAT, Jim Lee. Also, another art on the top by Jim Lee is taken from X-Men number 2, which is the Rogue headshot. The rest of the box is decorated with promo shots of the figure. At the bottom is some warning legalities. Unboxing the MAFEX 242 Rogue. She comes in a single plastic tray. You can see the figure and all the accessories on that one tray. She comes with a standard MAFEX stand and the authentic certificate. When you take her out of the box, you would notice that there are those plastic things inserted between her joints. This means this is an authentic MAFEX figure. It's not a knockoff. I really want to run with the rest of the internet and declare this MAFEX number 242 Rogue as the definitive 1/12 scale Rogue action figure. But after spending some time with her, looking at the jacket issues, the articulation limits, and the fact that all 3 head sculpts share the same exact hairpiece, I'm not sure. For me, the definitive Rogue might still be missing. It makes me wonder, is everyone basing their verdict on the jacket alone? Because if you're a careless fool like me and you run into jacket problems, is there enough figure left underneath to call her the GOAT? Some collectors have pointed out that for a premium import, she is light on accessories. No repeating punch effects, no power absorbs, nothing. For me, the biggest oversight is the lack of a power drain head sculpt, the one wherein her eyes are closed and kissing. Isn't that her signature? That's her trademark move even in the arcade games. So why did MAFEX skip it? In action figure form, it's hard to represent Rogue's mutant power, but I wish MAFEX tried a little bit, like what Mondo did. An optic blast head sculpt would have been a massive win. Even some bone claws to show her borrowing Logan's power would be a nice thing to do. Overall, the value for money is definitely up for debate. Is she definitive? For me, not really, but I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you think Rogue's popularity as a fan favorite is just an excuse for MAFEX to skim on the extras?
I'm Tiger Knight.